Hey guys, Chantel here. So today's going to be a quick video about lymphedema. And if you have symptoms of lymphedema, I think you'll know. It's usually a swelling or tight, heavy feeling in your affected limb. For me, it's my arm because of removing about 20 lymph nodes during a bilateral mastectomy for breast cancer. So what we're going to talk about is triggering factors and how to remedy what's helpful. So triggering factors are repetitive movements such as, and I love this list, like vacuuming, cleaning, scrubbing. So let's just take all of those things off of our to-do list. And but also triggering factors are things that we might do to recover and to heal ourselves, like weightlifting or yoga poses or swimming. Just a lot of these things can also be triggers. Now, it's kind of interesting that some of the things that trigger can also be the things that end up helping. So we just have to kind of figure out where our particular triggers are and what we feel like can end up ultimately helping us. So the things that sort of my go-tos for remedies are twofold. One is using my compression sleeve and or glove. This is really important, guys. So I was actually professionally measured 2 different times and had 2 different size compression bands. Compression sleeve is what it's called. Sorry, I'll get it right. So the first one was too darn tight. And what happened by having it too tight is it really affected my hand, and my hand would swell like a balloon, and it was so painful. So if you are wearing a sleeve and your hand is painful and or swollen, your sleeve might be too snug. The sleeve, from my understanding, I am not an expert, but from what I've learned and experienced is that it should be kind of like a firm but not super tight, but a firm, supportive compression. So if it's too tight, it's really going to be less beneficial and could be more detrimental to your arm and or hand. So getting the right size sleeve and then wearing the sleeve, I was told during my waking hours. So I do take mine off to sleep and I'll often put it back on during the day. I don't wear it all the time. So you kind of figure out when you need it. Today, I probably should have it on. So I don't know if you can kind of see, there's sort of like a heaviness sort of settling right in here. Sometimes it starts a little further up, and like I said, sometimes actually even into the hand. Which brings me to the other remedy that I do, which is the lymphatic massage. Now again, I'm not a professional therapist, but I will share with you the things that I've learned and have been taught for doing a lymphatic massage on myself. So you want to start first with opening the lymph areas, the lymph drainage areas, which would be like on your neck. And it's just, think about like petting like a cat or dog. Think about petting your pet, and that's about the pressure that we're using with all of this. It's not a hard press. It's nothing, too deep or painful. It's just sort of on the surface, is how I've been told. So we're going to just like find those glands and rub and everything, just to keep it easy. We can do like 10, and then just go through sort of like your circuit. So you're gonna rub these. You're gonna find your, it's like right here by your collarbone. You're gonna just press to kind of open that little lymphatic area. The next ones are under your arms. So it's a massage, squeeze, a massage, squeeze, massage, squeeze. So we'll do all of these like 10 times. So I do both sides, and then the next one is actually in your abdomen and just opening up your abdomen area. And I don't remember exactly how she described that, but I know that we do it by breathing. So we're just going to literally take in like a good deep breath and let your belly fill with air. We're going to do that, I think, like a good like 5 to 10 times. And then the last lymph drainage area is right sort of at the groin area, right down here. Sorry for that shot, but it's the only way to show you. So we're gonna like just press lightly in that little area. I'll show you again, right in here. It's kind of like right beside the bikini area. So we're just gonna press each side about 10 times. So with that, we've sort of opened up the lymphatic system. So now we need to start moving the fluids. So what happens when things get tight or heavy or swollen is that our lymphatic system has been compromised. So it's not working efficiently to move fluid through the limb. So what we want to do is, sometimes my hand might be swollen. I'm just going to show you how we do it starting from the hand. But if your hand's not affected, which right now mine, you can see how bony it is, it's not affected right now, but I'm going to show you what we do if it is. So we start with the furthest away, the furthest thing out, you know, so in this case my fingertips and my hand. So we would start sort of like palms up, and just kind of working the hand. We kind of do this maneuver, and we do this maneuver. And this one is a good one if you do have hand swelling, to really kind of start moving that fluid down. So what we do is we go from like joint point to point. So wrist, elbow, and then kind of like under the arm and up here in the shoulder region. So the first part is the hand. So we bring it from the hand to the wrist, hand to the wrist. Then we go from the wrist to the elbow, palm up, and we're just like petting a cat. I don't have a cat, I have a dog, but I could pet the dog the same way. So then we go from the elbow to up here on the shoulder, and it's easier to go like this. And I usually keep my arm kind of elevated also when I do this. And it's really easy to do in the shower because you're like a little soapy, and you can use like the soapy water to kind of like, it's just less friction. So I do this, and then if I have this heaviness, I kind of bring it from the inside elbow around. So I'm kind of trying to move, and you'll feel it, it's so weird. Kind of moving that fluid. And sometimes I actually will go like this to bring it around that way, around and up to here. And then I will also do this. So it's important that if you're, I kind of think of it like picking up fluid. If you're picking up fluid, you know, from your wrist to your elbow, get it all the way, carry it all the way to your elbow, and then carry it all the way to where you're dropping it off. So bring it all the way through. So you wouldn't want to just go like this. You want to get it all the way there. So you can do this little series several times a day. And it's actually, they encouraged me to do it at least like 3 times a day, like a morning, afternoon, and night, especially at times where I feel that I'm, you know, having sort of some symptomatic lymphedema stuff going on. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys because there was a point when there was a weekend when it first flared up. I didn't know anything about lymphedema, and I was in agony and pain, and it hurt my whole arm. I was uncomfortable, and I was calling around, I was Googling, and I found, you know, lymphatic massage. I'm calling massage people. I'm like, do you do a lymphatic massage? Like, no one knew what I was talking about. And it's not something that a typical like masseuse is going to do, massage therapist. it's usually someone like a little more medically inclined, more like a physical therapist. So with all of that, this way you can take matters into your own hands, or even show, you know, a family member, a loved one, how to help you. Because I will say that if you're doing all of this, my good arm gets really fatigued and tired. So sometimes the good arm just doesn't feel like doing all of that work. And that's when a family member will come in. But make sure that they know that the pressure they want to apply is that of, like, you know, maybe like petting a, you know, a domestic animal like a dog or a cat. They don't want to go too hard. And I say this from experience. My husband, God love him, was helping, and I didn't know that he was pressing too hard until later, and my arm was bruised and really hurt, that I was like, oh wow, I guess that was just too much pressure. So we kind of knew to back off a little bit. But you know, it's one of those things. How do you know? You don't know. So we just live and learn, and then we share. That's what we do. So I'm living and learning, and I'm sharing. And if you have lymphedema, it stinks, but it is definitely manageable. And I actually don't remember if I mentioned that as important as having the right fitting compression sleeve, if you often have trouble with your hand, definitely have a hand compression garment as well. Because what happens is sometimes if it's really flared up and you only put it on your arm, provided it's not too snug, it can still affect your hand because it's sort of pushing that fluid somewhere. So it could go up, it could go down. And if it does go down, it's really painful to have it all flowing into your hand. So I do encourage you, when you get your sleeve, to definitely get a glove as well. And maybe you won't need it all the time, but you'll have it if you do. So that is all I have on lymphedema. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to add, please do so in the comment section below. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do that too. So until next time, my friends, get out there and live your best life. Bye.